So today's video will detail the pivotal decisions and actions that I made as an up-and-coming financial advisor to reach $100 million in managed assets by the time I was 35 years old. So including my favorite ways to find clients, great techniques to grow your practice, top secret places to find great clients that most financial advisors wouldn't even think of, the best resources to keep you ahead of the curve, the best way to blow your clients' minds when you first meet them, how to build trust with clients, client red flags to look out for, the best mindset that will help massively grow your practice, wildly effective ways to ask for client referrals, and so much more. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone here who hits the like button and leaves a comment down below. So in the early days of the industry, in my early days in the 80s, many folks did do cold calling to attract investors. And that was when it was still a professional enterprise. It got a little crazy later on when too many people were cold calling. So cold calling has ceased to be a great way to attract people. But back in the early days, you could call large investors and make a relationship. Now the way to meet people is more through referral networking, which can actually be more impactful certainly than cold calling. Things that a new financial advisor or even a seasoned financial advisor can do to grow their practice is to figure out what niches that they are good at. Clubs where you have connections, what groups are important in your life, what interests you have. I know one financial advisor who built his entire practice through a model railroad club. I'm an Eagle Scout, as I mentioned. I worked at scout camps, very involved in a program called the Order of the Arrow of Scouting. So lots of contacts within the scouting group. So any group where you have some unique knowledge of that group and the people in that group, and there's a trusted mindset about you in that group, that would be the kind of group you could target for clients and then work referrals from there. So the best places to find clients would be in those groups that people aren't even thinking about. Why would a model railroad club be a good place to find clients? Well, there could be some very, very wealthy people in any one of those social organizations or interest groups. So that would be a good place for you to find clients, but somebody might not even think of that otherwise. I worked with a number of public companies that were referred by William Blair, and then I worked with the executives of those companies. You initially establish a relationship with them because you did individual stock transactions for their company stock, but then it takes time to spend with them and their families to understand what all their needs are and see how you can help them. And so those relationships take time. And so it's important that you be credible and you constantly be in touch. The best resources for insights to keep you ahead of the curve. So clearly there are a lot of great financial channels you can watch, and they have speakers and discussions on all the news channels. So what I like to do is actually record some of those and then catch up perhaps on the weekend. I also read the Wall Street Journal, the Financial Times of London, which gives a decent European perspective. I like to look at some other Asian papers as well, just to, in American terms, find out what's going on around the world. We also receive a lot of research reports, not from Wall Street sources necessarily, but different investment managers that issue their market letters. You often get better resources and information from those sources. I'd rather work in non-Wall Street sources of direct investment advisors, for example. And I mentioned we would talk about the best way to blow your client's mind when you first meet them. First of all, do what you say, work hard, call them when you say they're going to call them. Those are really the things that tend to surprise clients and prospective clients, because so many people don't follow up. They say they're going to do things and they don't. If you actually just do what you say, you'll be among the few. Then after the first year, 5th year, 10th year, as I mentioned earlier, you need to continually keep the relationship fresh and also be the arbiter of knowledge about the financial world for your clients. In the 5th year and 10th year, you're still bringing new ideas to them, whether it be cryptocurrencies or new partnerships or new offerings, new things that are happening. So the idea is that we always have a review of new things that are out there and things that can really benefit the client. The secret to building trust and rapport and a strong relationship with ideal clients is to create a program, make it real clear what your program is, whether you do reviews every quarter, reviews every 6 months, make sure that you review what the client is investing in, make sure that you go through a whole set of financial issues when you do those reviews, and then make sure that you follow up on all the things you say. It sounds like a very simple thing to do, but many financial advisors and many professionals may not follow up. They're chasing the next sale, they're doing something different, they're getting distracted. So it's important. All people want you to do is to be honest and straight with them, and then follow up on all the things you say you're going to follow up on. And then you can bring them good ideas, develop a referral network from that client. The key is to make your client happy, make your client feel like you have their best interest at heart. Then they will give you relationships on a referral basis and other ways that you can help grow your business. But the key is to make your client happy. You exist for your client, and that's really what this business is all about. Whenever you work with a client that is asking questions that make it sound nervous, then obviously those are red flags that you need to look out for. If you're talking to a potential client and they ask a lot of those questions, it's important that you get that discussion back onto a path where we discuss goals and other objectives like that. That could be, obviously something where maybe you're not going to be able to serve that client very well because they have the wrong objectives. It's important to make sure before you go forward with an investor that it's clearly understood what the objectives of the relationship are and what they're trying to accomplish. As we discussed before, if an investor has unrealistic goals and says they want to make a 20% return, they never want the portfolio to go down. There are times when the portfolio does slightly go down, sometimes sharply. Hopefully you can avoid that. The objectives and mindsets of clients have to be reasonable and realistic. And if they're not, then that's a red flag as well. And before you work with that investor, you have to make sure that we get those thought processes back in line. Once an investor starts repeating some of the things that you've told them, then oftentimes you realize you have a good investor. Sometimes when we have a bad market downturn and we'll get calls from certain investors, they actually repeat back to us what we told them. They wanted to have that discussion. It was good, an important discussion for them to do. Best mindset to have in order to grow your practice is to be working every day. Now some folks say, well, I'll prospect for new clients next week. I'll make that referral call next week. I think you really need to build into your practice those kinds of activities at all times. When you consider that if you have a financial practice, let's say you have 50 million or 100 million of client assets and all those clients are with you, as everyone gets older, things happen. Clients pass away. Families move. They may want to move to a financial advisor in a local area far away from where you are. So things happen. So there's a natural attrition to any financial practice. And so you need to keep looking for new client assets and new clients just to keep the business stable and set and growing. So there's no real middle ground. You need to keep growing. We're going to do a full piece on referral marketing and how to ask clients for a referral. You can do a deep dive on all the friendships and knowledge of all the different people each one of your clients knows. And it's based on the theory that there's about 100 people in any one person's life that they communicate with on a regular or semi-regular basis, from direct family members, cousins, then the extended networks from maybe scouting from when I was younger, maybe from college, maybe from high school, maybe from graduate school, maybe from different affinity groups that you're involved in. If you have certain activities, if you're a diver, if you're a skier, if you're involved in golf. So our objective would be to get to know all those people and then understand which of those people would be good people to get referrals to. And there are ways you can just simply ask to get connected to someone that you could really be of help to. And if your client is happy with what you've done for them, then they would be inclined to also say, gee, this financial professional could really help you too. They've done great things for me. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed these ideas here, please smash that like button, as we always say, and subscribe to our channel, and leave a comment down below. So don't forget to download our guide on how to get to 100 million and beyond in managed assets by going to forestarwealth.com/advisors. And again, I wanted to reiterate that our only goal here is to help you to grow your financial advisor practice. So if you have any follow-up questions on this topic, any parts of this topic, please write them down, comments below, and we'll answer them directly. If you're a financial advisor looking for more freedom, higher margins, and better training, discuss joining our team by going to forestarwealth.com/advisors. All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody, and keep on growing.